Welcome back to another episode of the What Everybody podcast. A beautiful What Everybody Wednesday to you and your loved ones. Speaking of loved ones, Ryan Harris apologizes to Jonny you today, but the question is it a real apology? We shall find out. In other news, small world stuff. Does it happen? It sure does. It really does happen. So now's the time to grab your favorite pair of AirPods or headphones or whatever it is. Find your favorite lawnmower and go cut the grass while listening to the What Everybody podcast. So with no further ado, Ryan and Jonny.
Starting and Jonny has left. So I am by myself on my own. You know what, buddy? I think I know why you left.
Why?
Because I watched the last episode and I was a little bit hard on you. I was a little bit hard on you last week. I don't feel bad about it because for sure learn from your mistakes, you know. But yeah, I was a little hard on you last week, bud. You know,
hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hey.
Another episode of the What Everybody podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Jonny, and that's Ryan.
Yes.
And I'm going to complain again this morning.
Because you
this
feel
fucking
like
implant. I just came from the dentist again.
You're just going to breeze over my intro. You're just not going to pay any attention to what I brought up, huh?
What, that you're an asshole?
I was hard on you last podcast, and I was trying to make light of it.
Well, listen, I mean, I did say some stupid shit, like, you know, hotels floating on water and shit, but I do know what a boat is. I do know what a boat is.
Yeah. Hey, I found we'll get back to your implant. I don't mean to gloss over your point, but I found a video that I think like emulates our banter last episode. Do you want me to pull that up?
Please do. Let's see what you got.
All right.
Having a bad hair day, just for everybody.
You look good to me, my man. You look good to me.
Thanks, pal.
Okay, so here's what happened. I'm the guy on the left. You're the guy on the right. So what's going on here? Oh, nut tap. Here, I'll hit
Bear
music.
dick punched me, huh?
Bear dick punch right there. I'll hit mute. So I'm the guy on the left. I look like I'm straight out of like a 90s music movie, maybe. And you got a lightsaber.
The funny thing is the guy on the right actually does look like you, though.
But that's me all the way, buddy, right there. See? You got the lightsaber
You're
straight out of the Star Wars. You're out of the Star Wars. I shimmy, nut tap. Yeah.
Oh man, I would have punched you. What a nice shimmy that was.
Rightfully so.
What a nice shimmy. Yeah.
You know what I call that?
The shimmy.
The smack of the tap.
Smack on the tap. I love it.
The smack on the tap.
We should bring up the bear dick pic of us
Bear
reenacting the bear dick punch picture. Like, so there's a meme.
Yeah.
Bear dick punch.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So Ryan and I this must have been 2012. We were on tour somewhere, and we decided we were going to reenact the bear dick punch picture, and I think we did a good job.
Oh man.
So I'm back to having a hole in my mouth.
Yeah. So you had some dental issues today, huh?
See? I've been dealing with this fucking implant since February of 21.
Okay, so a year and 2 years. 2 years.
2 years and like 3 months. Okay, so it all starts because they do it wrong, and my gums reject the implant and push it out. So then I got to wait 6 months to have it heal. So then I go back, they redo it and put it back in. Now they do it a different way with the cement, and it stays. Cool. Months after that, the tooth comes in. Now we're like, no lie, dude, we're sitting at just under 2 years when I finally get a tooth on my fucking mouth, right in my mouth. So I get the tooth in there, and now today was the third time that I've been back since they put the tooth in the mouth because it shakes, it loosens over time. And so I'm like, well, this is bullshit. I would have never gotten it done. What a waste of fucking money. I'm still paying for the fucking thing.
Is it a matter of going to a bad dentist?
I don't know. I've never had it done before.
Yeah.
The first time she fucked up because she thought that I had enough bone in my It hurt so bad, dude. And they were like looking at me like I was a fucking pussy because I kept coming in like, I'm in so much pain.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? So then
And
finally,
they deal
after
with it
the-
every day. So they're just like,
right. They're just like,
immune
why?
to
Like,
the-
dude, it looks fine. Meanwhile, when they did it the second time, they did it the right way, which is like you're supposed to put like some kind of like weird cement thing in there that fill the hole, not drill it into your goddamn bone in your goddamn jaw, which is what they did. So then eventually
makes me cringe.
my jaw rejected it and it came out. And I actually was lucky enough to find it before it went down the drain because it came out while I was brushing my teeth. So when I came back and I showed her the deal, she was so apologetic. All of a sudden, like they realized like, wow, this guy really was in pain. His body was rejecting it, and that's why he was in so much pain.
I told you that the first time, asshole.
Right. So then, like, we think it's okay. They tighten it up. The last time she tightened it up, which was the second time, she did a really good job, and it lasted the longest before it got loose again. Well, I go in there today, and it turns out that they're just giving me a whole new tooth now. They took that one off. They remolded my fucking mouth, and now I have to wait until whenever the fuck the new tooth.
Now you got to
comes.
wait like another 6 months for that to heal.
No, it doesn't have to heal. They just put something in there to keep the hole open. It's already because the post is still the implant's still in there. What it is the molded tooth needs to come back. So last time it took like a month and a half. So all I know is had I known this was going to go down, I would have saved myself the fucking $2,500. Like. I got used to it. By time they fucking did it again, I was like, I was already used to it not being there.
Now they put that new one in, and you have to get used to it being there and everything. I have 0 cavities. Do you know? Do you realize that?
In your entire life?
In my entire life, I have 0 cavities.
For a guy who loves ice cream as much as you do, that's crazy.
Yeah, I love
How
all
is that
the
possible?
snacks. I love
How's that
all
even
the snacks.
possible?
Just good hygiene, good teeth, good genetic bone density, I guess. I don't know.
I'd imagine if you shower 3 times a day, that you probably brush your teeth 6 or 7 times a day.
I don't brush them 6 or 7 times a day, but it's a solid 3 to 4. Yeah, I smell good, baby.
Wow.
I smell good. Yeah, I chipped my front tooth when I was like 8. That's the only thing I chipped my front tooth.
This is a boring fucking episode. We're talking about.
Well, hey, you brought it
The
up.
dentist.
I got some pet peeves we could talk about. You can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What time of the day do you think it's appropriate to start building construction?
No, I mean, like, all right,
Pause.
if you want, hold on, listen, because I'm going to say this.
Because side note, if you hear anything, I'm doing the podcast from my apartment. If you hear anything, it's been a noisy morning.
Okay. Let me just say that if we go by normal people's hours, because I don't live normal people hours, 9 a.m. should be the starting point, no earlier than 9 a.m.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I just do notice that, like, for whatever reason, these jerk-offs want to end their day early. So they're like, we're just going to start at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck do you think you are doing that?
8 a.m. It was 8 a.m. and not it wasn't 8 a.m. like we're doing some stuff. It was 8 a.m. like drilling on pipes that are like shaking the walls, and it was like literally like just ridiculous noise, dude, right by my head. It must have been like right next to my bedroom.
You know what's even worse than this? With the same question, let me ask you this. What is an appropriate hour for the fucking landscaper to come across with the fucking the weed fucking trimmer?
Oh, dude, the freaking the little
because those motherfuckers start at 7:30 at my fucking house. Not the weed blower, the not blowers. You know,
not ooh. I got you. Yeah, it's a different.
Not that.
Yeah, okay.
The
those dudes start at like 7 a.m. Man. I hear
dude,
that
and that's
early.
bullshit. They wake me up, and that bothers me because when they start at 7 a.m., I went to bed at fucking 6:30. You see what I'm saying? That's fucked up.
Now that is, and I'm guilty as well because I go to bed late, get up a little bit later than I should. You know, so I factor that into it. Like I'm not going to be.
I won't bitch at 9 a.m. 7 a.m.
I'm not. I'm not going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm not cranky guy. I'm not cranky guy anymore because that's on me.
I'm cranky guy, but that's on me. I'm cranky, but it's on me.
Yes, it's cranky, but it's on me. But 8 a.m., I'm cranky because it's on you. Not you, Johnny, you, but them, you know, the people.
No, but it is me, Johnny, you. It's on me.
Dude, I shit you not. I'm not making this up. There was one point where it was like, I heard like a bell, like a ding. It's like, what do you do? How does that even happen?
You should have been like, you know what that bell is, motherfucker? That's round one of me coming out and knocking you the fuck out, bitch.
That's round one of whoop ass coming at you. They're construction workers. They're probably pretty tough. They could probably handle themselves. I don't know. Probably not.
You want to hear a cool story, though? Check this out. This is the coolest thing about living in Los Angeles is when shit like this happens. I'm at the Ralph's. It's like 1:30 in the morning, or at 12:30 at night because I close at 1. It's late. There's a guy in front of me. Now I'm looking at this guy thinking to myself, I wonder if this guy is homeless. Probably what people think about when they look at me. And and I came to that conclusion after I figured out who it was I was talking to. So I looking at this guy. He's got dreadlocks like halfway down his chest. But what made me want to talk to him was he had a ginormous bag of cat litter, 7 cans of cat food, and 6 bags of Pepperidge Farm cookies of assorted flavors.
That would make me assume that he's not homeless.
Right. I mean, I kind of assumed he wasn't homeless by this, but what really made me know that it wasn't homeless when I started talking to him, and he told me about his one cat was like 23 years of age, and he's like,
oh, wow.
He's like, yes. He's like, yeah, it was my grandmom's cat, and that cat looks at me every day and just says, just kill me, and it was just funny. But then he said, I also got 6 dogs. I got a big yard, and I instantly knew that he wasn't homeless. So then at this point, him and I,
maybe he does have a big yard because he sleeps in the park.
Maybe.
Also, do you hear the construction still going on? I'm pissed.
He's got a big yard. So at this point, he didn't want to talk to me at first. I did pick up on that. But when I started talking to him about the stuff I was talking to him about, and then when he realized I had no idea who he was, he then started making eye contact with me and then started talking to me. And at this point, when I figured out he wasn't a homeless guy and he figured out that I wasn't some big fan, we started looking at each other and like eyeing each other out. Like, why do I feel like I'm supposed to know who this guy is and I don't, kind of thing? We both had the same look, like, who's this guy? Should I know who he is, right? Kind of thing. Because I'm looking at him and he's got a Vans footwear hat. He's got these custom Vans like mine, like the same model, the high tops, you know?
Yeah.
But like in like a weird camouflage thing going on. And like, whatever, he's done. He's in front of me. He pays. I'm like, all right, man, take it easy later. So then I'm walking out to my car and he's getting into his truck, and he's getting into a fucking truck that is a rich person's pickup truck. It's brand new, totally tricked out, super expensive looking. And he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. And it's
our
this
eyes
look.
crossed.
And no. The last time that this happened to me, it sucks because I was in Philly back in the 90s, and I was at a warehouse party for the band Dandelion, and I ran into Jeff LaBar from Cinderella. And at the time, it was really uncool to like anybody from glam rock. Like glam rock was not cool, and nobody like got attention from glam rock. So I went up to him like, "Are you Jeff LaBar?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, what's going on?" And he wanted to talk to me, and I was like, all right, later. And I just took off.
Just
I was like, fuck, I should have talked. I'm like, fuck, I should have just talked to Jeff LaBar. So the same thing happened. I see the guy, he looks at me and I see it, and he's giving me that look of like, yo, man, if you want to talk, we can talk. And it's like, all right, man, take it easy. Have a good evening. And I took off. So then I'm really intrigued on who this fucking guy is. So I go home and I'm like, okay.
Google.
Vans, Google. Vans, shoes, skateboarder, dreadlocks. All these young people came up. I'm like, okay, that ain't gonna work. I'm like, old school Vans skater, skateboarder. I scroll down. I'm like, boom. Look who I was just fucking talking to. Guess.
I don't really know anything about skaters.
Tony Alva. Do you know who Tony Alva is?
I don't.
You know nothing about skaters? No?
I know nothing about skaters.
Okay. Tony Alva was...
Good on him, though. He's apparently made well of his life.
Dude, he was Lords of Dogtown. You ever seen the movie?
No, but I've heard of it. He's one of those dudes.
This guy is... Dude, yeah, and he's like the founding founder of those dudes with like Stacy Peralta. This dude is one of the founding fathers of modern day skateboarding. Like when you say like, oh, that dude's a legend. This dude is truly, straight up, a fucking legend. If there's a skateboarding Hall of Fame, this fucking dude's in it. Guaranteed. Do me a favor, just so the listeners can understand that you understand. Will you Google Tony Alva right now? Just for yourself. You don't need to bring anything up. Take a look at who Tony Alva is real quick. Please.
I'll do it for you, bud.
TonyAlva.
Oh, he plays bass, too.
He's
65 years old.
Maybe I should talk to him. 65. Wow, you look good. Yeah, dude, just real quick. What did Tony Alva invent? Or well, he invented his own skateboard, but he was just like look up his net worth. That should be interesting. Well, I don't think it's invented.
Alva is considered the originator of vertical skating and is credited as one of the first skateboarders to successfully pull a front-side air. That moment, captured on film by photographer Glenn E. Friedman, is considered by many to be the birth of modern skateboarding. That's cool.
Boom.
Dig it.
Okay, so like now put it into perspective. He's looking at me, probably thinking I'm some skateboarding fan because I'm wearing these neon pink fucking high top Vans on my shoes.
Yeah,
got my fucking Adidas on and shit like that. Right. So he probably thought like I knew who he was, but the second he realized that I had no idea who he was, you could immediately tell he started thinking like, no. He started thinking like, well, who's this guy? Like, cause like that you could tell.
We both got scruff. We both got long hair. We both got rad Vans on. We got to be friends.
I bet you what.
We should know each other.
No, I bet you when he pulled away, he had the same thought that I had when I pulled away, which is, I wonder who the fuck that guy was.
Maybe.
You know, I mean, I'm a cool looking guy. I look like I'd be a skater. I understand why he didn't want to talk to me. He's probably great. Somebody recognized me at 1 o'clock.
You dressed like an athlete.
1 o'clock in the. Check out these. Old school. Bringing them back. The green ones.
Look at that.
It's been a while.
Look at that. Tracksuit Johnny.
But then look at the other side. Yeah, they're ripped.
The other side's seen better days,
Adidas, man. These Adidas pants, my critique of them is they're poorly constructed. Like the new models have these things where they
don't last long.
No, these lines that come down here and they're stitched. All pairs that I have with the stitched lines right there, there's all a hole there in every pair. Yeah. I shit my pants the other day.
Proceed.
I was staying on somebody else's couch too. It was horrible. It was just not cool.
Okay, so like let me
we're gonna leave it there. Let's be a good. No. Anyway, forget.
No,
I didn't
let
say
me be
that.
a good
Strike
podcast.
Next.
Let me be a good podcast host here, because last episode we talked about you fell asleep on somebody else's couch with a Tommy burger,
same couch,
chili burger.
Yeah.
Chili burger,
yeah.
And you rolled over onto the burger and made a chili mess on the couch.
Yeah.
And so the next day you shit that same couch with what I would assume was that same chili burger.
The next day, said couch, I ordered Chinese food extra spicy.
Yeah.
And drank White Claws all night. So I just thought I
Solid plan.
I thought I just had thought I had normal gas happening. I didn't think it was anything more than, maybe a little burp coming out of my asshole. And it was one of those ooh moments, but it actually hit the fabric though. Like I went to take care of it, it was like it hit the fabric.
The couch
not on
fabric?
the couch in my pants.
Okay.
No. Well,
that's a little.
Good thing is,
thought you meant the couch.
You know what?
Fabric.
It did. No. Check it out. Well, check it out.
Because you have
it didn't
holes
hit the couch fabric
in your pants,
but it did reach the sheet covering the couch.
I am probably never going to ask you to house sit for me. No offense. I hope none taken. I just
that's cool. You just eliminated me of feeling obligated to do something for a friend.
That's true. That's fair. But also, yeah, no, that, bro, would you like Febreze it? Shout out Febreze.
Yeah.
You got to burn that sheet.
No, dude, like it was weird. I went to the bathroom like, wow, there's like there's chunks in my underwear. I'm like, wow.
Oh, man. It's so gross, dude.
You can see the chili flakes from the fucking Chinese food.
Okay, so.
No, but where I'm staying's got a bidet. It's awesome.
That
So
doesn't
at least
fix
I
your
had that
underwear,
going
though.
for me, which is nice.
What did you do with your
No,
underwear?
but it fixed my asshole.
Right. What did you do with your
Washed 'em.
underwear? You flushed them?
I washed them.
You flushed
No, I
your underwear?
washed them.
Washed them. Washed your
I
underwear.
washed them. How the fuck do you get flush out of wash?
I thought you said flushed. It doesn't make sense. I know. I was like, well, you're going to clog the drain. For sure. But that's not what you said.
All right, cool. So shit on said couch and then go fucking clog their toilet with said dirty underwear.
Yeah, man. You're a bad house host or bad house. What's it called? House sitter. House sitter.
Guest.
You're a bad house sitter. Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Bad house sitter. Starring Johnny.
I should be the.
Starring Johnny shits his pants.
Well, they call me they call me Shitsies for a reason. You know, that's my nickname.
It's not a full movie. It's a short.
It's a short film I'm making for class.
Fade from black. Johnny
What would
is
be the
laying on the
premise?
couch.
Well,
I'm going to tell you the premise right now. Would you like me to? Fade from black. Johnny is
please.
lying sleeping. Johnny is lying sleeping on the couch. It's 3 p.m. He's got a fresh bag of Tommy Burger on his stomach. The cat makes a noise and Johnny moves restlessly. He rolls over onto his Tommy Burger,
you keep
Causing
mentioning
it to
Tommy
look
Burger. It really makes me want some.
causing it to look like he shat himself on the couch. 3 hours later, Johnny wakes up hungry. Cranky, hungry. Good thing I have my Tommy Burger. Oh, damn it. Where'd it go? I don't know. I don't realize that I'm laying on it because I can't feel things that normal people feel. So he stands up.
So I go back to bed.
Yeah, he stands up to go have a smoke. He looks down and realizes that he's crushed his beloved Tommy Burger. You still ate it, didn't you?
Absolutely. Why waste it? That's a waste of money.
I'm getting the vibe that you
hungry.
don't like that I'm making fun of you right now.
I'm getting the vibe that your apology, the way we started this episode, doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, that would be a correct vibe. Well, what, are we supposed to be boring and not talk about each other?
It's fair to say that I set myself up.
Yeah. I haven't even mentioned the fact that you were an hour late to today. It's all good. It's all good. Did you prepare anything to talk to me about today? Do you have anything?
Well, I just talked to you about a few things. I talked about shit in my pants. I talked to you about the implant. What do you
I
got?
look up stories and topics, and Johnny's like,
I told you about Tony Alva. I told you my Tony Alva story.
It's true. It's true.
I got a lot of shit today.
I read this story. You probably knew about this. This is not a recent story, but you know Eagles of Death Metal, the band?
Yeah.
So they opened for Guns N' Roses in like 2006. It was like the Chinese democracy Guns N' Roses.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Well, they were supposed to do like 3 weeks with them. Now, if you listen to Eagles of Death Metal, I can understand why. I guess they didn't get a good reception.
They're a great fucking band though.
Yeah, they're cool. But to open for Guns N' Roses, it's like I guess my point is that Axl Rose came out on stage after Eagles of Death Metal's first show, and he called them pigeons of shit metal. And then he's like, "Don't worry, you won't have to listen to them anymore because they're getting kicked off the tour."
Wow.
Yeah.
That happened?
Yeah, it happened.
That has to be like something happened. Something had to have happened.
Yeah. Well, so like I read all these articles to try to figure out like what it is, and there's like speculation, and like Jesse Hughes, who's the singer from Eagles of Death Metal, he's like, well, we won the crowd over by the end of our set, and Axl wasn't even there for it because he showed up late, so he didn't even see our set and this and that. And Axl Rose said that he did it because the Guns N' Roses crowd didn't like that band, and he didn't want them on tour, and he just had an asshole moment, as he does, you know. But he called them pigeons.
Did he fuck Axl's wife or something?
Pigeons of shit metal. It's kind of funny.
Something had to have happened.
Eagles of Death Metal later on, like a couple years later, they did a all cover album, and they called it Pigeons of Shit Metal, and they covered it So Easy off Appetite for Destruction. It's funny. Like he just like the best part of this story. The best part of the story is that Jesse Hughes has since just like trolled Axl Rose every year, according to him, and he says it every year. He'll send Axl Rose an email asking him if he wants to do like a collaboration on like a Christmas song with him and stuff. He's like, I have yet to get an email in return. It's just funny. Dude's funny.
Why did Eagles of Death Metal get kicked?
Yeah.
Off
We opened for him once, did we not? I feel like we opened for
His other
Boots
band,
Electric.
Boots Electric.
Boots Electric, yeah.
Boots Electric.
Shout out Boots Electric. Yeah. Not the name drop, but hey, happened.
12 years ago, Eagles of Death Metal had the opportunity of a lifetime opening Guns N' Roses, but the sweet gig only lasted the concert. Actually knocked them pitching to ship middle at the very first show and kicked them off the tour. There's something being left out. We got to get to the bottom of this.
We got to get to the
There's
bottom.
got to be something.
No, I'm telling you, there is no bottom of it because it's. I think urban legend might be the incorrect term, but it's been like a vague thing ever since it happened. Like, why did that happen? He had to have like made eye contact with him backstage or something, or did something he didn't like, off the scene to cause him to react that way.
Yeah, and they're all like they're nice dudes in that band. Like, they're not like fucking asshole guys. They're not like Axl. You know what I'm saying? They're not like walking around like, or fucking Ian. What's the guy from fucking the Cult?
Ashbury.
Ashbury.
Yeah.
What's up? I told you that story about how I got in trouble when we were. No, I told you how I got in trouble. I never told you that story.
This is an interesting story.
We had to have talked about it. So Ian's rocking around. Okay, the Knives. God, what year is this? Must have been like 2007. The Knives were on the West Coast leg of the Jägermeister tour with the Cult, and I don't even remember what other bands were on it, but we were one of 3 openers opening for the Cult.
Okay,
and for the Cult was headliner, and Ian was walking around, and he was walking down the stairs, and he had his big fucking. How people wear like a rabbit's foot as like a fucking good luck charm. He had like, I don't know, he must have fucking cut off a raccoon's tail and fucking wearing a raccoon's tail down as like a side of his fucking leg or whatever.
I've seen bands do that.
And we were playing I want to say it was called The Pageant in St. Louis. And I'm walking up the backstage stairs up to the dressing room, and he's walking down the stairs, and I guess I bumped into him by accident. The next day, tour manager comes in.
Did you say hi or talk or anything, or just like you just cross paths and you bumped them?
We crossed paths. I bumped into him. I'm like, oh, sorry, man, or whatever,
Yeah.
Whatever. It was an accident. So the next day, tour manager rolls into our dressing room. He goes, I don't know which one of you guys bumped into Ian last night, but don't ever let that happen again. And then he walked out. And I was like,
their tour manager said that really, to you?
Yeah, well, to our band. They walked into our dressing room and was just like, I don't know which one of you bumped into Ian last night, but don't ever let it happen again. And then he just walked out. I was like, wow, that just happened.
And did you have any other interaction since then?
No, they were never like around. You didn't see them around too much. But I'll tell you what, though, how cool it was to sit there and watch the Cult every night. That was they're such a great band.
Yeah, but what a cunty move, man. It's like if someone bumps into you, if it pisses you off that you're going to mention it to your tour manager, just turn around and say, hey, man.
Like hey, man, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. He goes, how about the response of, hey, man, no worries.
Yeah.
Like, why make an issue out of that? Oh, because you're the opening band and I want to let you know what your place is.
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid. What I should have done is the next day I should have fucking gave him a fucking hip check against the wall as I walked by him.
Yeah, dude.
Hip check.
If you're going to get kicked off, make it worth it.
Yeah. We were out there for like 5 or 6 shows. It was fucking great though.
Yeah.
That was fun. Didn't get to play LA. Our last show was like the day before LA. It was horrible. I did though get to play LA, the Jägermeister tour twice in LA as one-offs, just the LA show, once opening for Stone Sour and once opening for Shadows Fall at the Wiltern.
With Cherry Monroe, we were slated to open for Motley Crue for like a month. And the last show, I think the last show was either in Cleveland or Pittsburgh or something. It was like, close to home. And then that fell through. They offered us Backstreet Boys. That's the face I made. No, we were offended. In hindsight, we absolutely 100% should have taken it. But we were like, at the time, we were offended, dude. We were like, we're supposed to go out with Motley Crue and you offer us Backstreet Boys? I've been talking about Cherry Monroe a lot lately.
Yeah, weird. It's in a good way or bad way. Does it bring back an emotion of happiness, sadness, disappointment, like
Yes.
all of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. Yeah.
Warm in here.
Yeah, dude. You know, while we're on the topic of old bands,
Yeah.
you know, I think about the Knives a lot. I don't know if you ever have this thought. Like, I know that you and I talk about this thought with Warner Drive and everything. I actually was talking to Jonny about this the other day, you know, because, you know, we were talking about everything going on with the Mercury riots and, you know, everything going on with you and this stuff and that stuff. And, you know, and Warner Drive came up in topic of conversation. And you know, he's like, I forget what he said, but I responded by saying, you know, had we not stopped, I don't see why it wouldn't have worked. It was already working at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
So it like, you know, we just stopped doing it the way we used to. Like, for those who don't know, there was a point in time where Warner Drive was doing 250 shows a year. And every year we did that for like 3 years straight. Like, then every year after, it just like kind of dwindled more and more and more. And then it just came to a point where, you know, some others were, you know, had opportunities that they couldn't pass up. Do you ever get the thought where it would be now if Cherry Monroe never broke up, never, you know, left Universal?
Oh, I think about it all the time.
Better yet. Let's say, going back to your Motley Crue Backstreet Boys little fucking thing there, said douche manager, if you're ever listening, I hope you're listening out there. If you're out there,
absolutely 100% is not.
well, you never know. He might be just curious. And if he was, or anybody who knows him, you can tell him, I think he's the biggest douche ever. And that's what gives people in the music business a bad name, is people like him.
Back to your question.
That's out of my system.
I like that you have my back. I appreciate you having my back, because I know it comes from a place of caring.
Hey, it comes from a place of caring. And what am I? I'm a man of
principle.
Exactly. And that guy's fucked up. Let's say that guy's not in the picture.
Yeah.
Let's say it was a different manager who didn't have his own self-interest, and you did do the Motley Crue tour. Where are you today if you realistically looked at it if you were able to look at how you guys saw it happening at that moment in time and what your mindset was before all the disappointment, and it was still the excitement, and that Motley Crue offer comes in, this and the other thing. If from that moment, if you can jump back into that moment of time and think, this is where we're going to be, and that's what you really believed at that moment, that this is where we're going to be in 20 years or like 15 years, what would it be today?
I don't think any
good question, huh?
It's a good question. It was a very long question, but it's a good question. Yeah. I don't think any one tour, like had we done that tour or had we this or that, would have.
But that's not the question. It's a momentum builder. That one tour is a momentum builder.
It gives you like clout or whatever.
And gets you in front of a lot of fucking people every day.
And it gets you on another tour, and it gets you on another tour, and it gets you on another tour. I think we could have had a career with it, you know, but that's just me being biased, because
that is the most boring answer that you could have given.
How's it boring? Do you think if you would have stayed together, you would have kept doing well?
No, like what do you think would have, like, do you think would have had a career? Okay, cool. Would it have been a successful career? Like, were you guys like, what do you think your trajectory was with right management? Realistically, at that time, go back to where music was, what you guys were doing, what you'd already accomplished. What was the trajectory planned by when Universal signed you, what they pictured it was going to be?
Well, in that case, that is a tough question. I don't really know.
Still a good question.
Still a good question.
I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen with the Knives. I'll answer myself that question. It was all going great.
Yeah, answer your own question.
You know, I mean, had we signed to Volcom Entertainment at a time that there was a very pivotal point for us, that was essentially the point where, like, I guess not equivalent to the manager thing, because nobody fucked us but ourselves, because we didn't know how to navigate. But had we signed that Volcom deal, I think the Knives today, the guitar player would be dead. I think that we probably would still be a band with a different guitar player, maintaining like an Eagles of Death Metal type of career. Because I think we were doing well, we were writing cool songs, but we had a guy who was a really bad drug addict at the time, and I don't know what he's up to today, but had he been given a platform of that level, I think he 150% would have died.
Oh, it would have been like he would have used his powers for evil.
Yeah, well, he would have had the access to do as many drugs as he wanted. He just would have fucking died.
That was one thing about us that we didn't have. We weren't that we didn't have any substance issues in that band. Who knows if they would have developed?
You've been pretty lucky with that. Because Warner Drive had Warner Drive, I had the worst substance abuse problem with marijuana. And like, if to say, that
but it just made me happy.
Something to be said.
No, I'll tell you, of all the bands I've been in, touring with Warner Drive was the easiest because it's like a group of people that know everybody's buttons, and we just didn't push them. Most of the time, didn't push them.
We didn't, and that's so rare. You know what I mean? Like, because you know what I think that comes down to? I think there's got to be a level of
respect.
I was going to say respect. I was just trying to think of a better word.
Maturation,
I think early on, I think early on in Warner Drive, everybody was feeling each other out. But I think it's just, what ultimately it comes down to, man, is the personality of the person. There weren't any hardcore narcissist in the band.
What's that saying? The sum is greater than the whole of its parts. I think that's it.
Never heard this.
It's me trying to sound smart. Of course, you're not going to know that. The sum is greater than the whole of its parts.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Of course, you're not going to know that. That was so condescending as fuck.
That was a little bit low. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We still friends?
How did this episode start? Hey, man, I was real rough on you last week. I just picked on you all week.
And how was this episode end? By you doing the same thing you did.
For the whole fucking episode. No.
And on that note.
On that note, everybody, thanks for hanging out this week. We've been positive ball of energy. We're very proud of that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but subscribe, and report. And
report Jonny.
We'll see you next week. Yeah, well, this is episode 79. That means our next episode is going to be episode 80. Right?
That's how math works. Yeah, that's how math works. 79, 80.
One. Listen, I got one last thing. I never talk politics, and I'm not going to say anything political. And the person that I'm going to say said something really funny to me.
Okay.
I think is the biggest loser piece of shit ever. Okay. With that being said, Ron DeSantis said the fucking stupidest, funniest fucking thing that I've heard a politician say into a microphone in a long time. He's like, I don't care what you say. 2 + 2 = 4. Any way you dice it. Anyway, on that note, 2 + 2 means we're the fuck out of here. You cut that out, okay? You'll cut that piece out. Back to what I was saying. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming by this week. We enjoyed your presence. We're going to be back next week with episode 80. 80 is a big number. We're going to try to get a guest in here for 80. We'll see what we can do.
79.
Don't hold us. Comes after 79 and after 69 as well. And don't hold me to account on the guest thing. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best, Harris. I reached out to a few people this last week.
I like chatting with you. So what happens?
I know you do because you haven't been to your Muay Thai class, so you haven't been punching anything. So instead, I'm your fucking punching bag these days. So
verbal punching bag.
There we go.
Verbal punching bag.
There
Jonny
we go.
verbal punching
there we
bag.
go.
Yeah.
Johnny verbal punching bag. There's the name of the episode. With that being said, everybody subscribe, report, tell your friends about it if you can. Share it with a friend. Share it with your mom. She'll probably hate us, but hey, most moms do.
Goodbye. Long-winded goodbye.
Hey, for Ryan Harris, I'm Johnny. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.